If you're looking to buy any Ultimate Team coins, check out FIFACoinZone.com and use code IHAS for 5% off at checkout. Hey guys, ISKara here, and today I'm going to be showing you players you should invest in for the Premier League Player of the Month. So if you didn't know, it actually comes out on Friday, the 9th of December. And if you didn't see my video, I think it was 2 days ago. The nominations this month are Aguero, Diego Costa, Zlatan Ibrahimovic, Pedro, Matt Phillips, and Jordan Pickford. So those are the players. Personally, I'm not too sure who it actually is going to be. It's quite hard really to see this month. But I'm going to go through some investments which, first of all, one of them doesn't matter. Whoever is picked, this investment will work. And then there are some specific investments. So I'm going to start off, basically, if we actually look at the Squad Builder Challenge, I think the last one has actually gone, the Hazard one, so we can't look at it now. But there were 4 challenges. The first challenge were Belgian players. So basically that would be like the nation of the player who is picked. But that one is actually quite hard to predict. The second one was October's opponents, so the teams that he actually played against, you need players from them squads, which again is hard to predict. But the next one, Premier League, and all you need was a squad for Premier League players. But for the Hazard one, the minimum rating was 84, and it required 2 informed players. But this one, depending on who it is, it will always require at least 1 informed player. So this is why you need to invest in informed Jermain Defoe. This Squad Builder Challenge will, like 90% I am sure, will require 1 informed Premier League player. And the cheapest one at the moment is Defoe, and he's going for 28,000 coins. You can see his price is even rising by the second. I really should have invested in him like about when he first came out, because he went down to about 18k. He's already risen up to 28,000 coins. But I still think if you pick him up under 30k, it's an alright investment. You need to make sure you're watching your price because he is quite an expensive player, and if it goes wrong, you could make a bit of a loss. However, this is probably the best investment you can make because all of the Premier League informs will shoot up in price. Defoe's the cheapest one, going for 28,000 coins. The next cheapest is Stecklenburg, going at 33k. And then the next cheapest after that is Joe Allen, going at 38,000 coins. So Defoe is basically 10,000 coins cheaper than the next inform. So he will rise at least 10,000 coins, and I recommend picking him up. I've actually picked up 4 cards already, sorry, earlier, and I picked these up for quite like 28k, 27,250, 26k, 28k. So I was paying up to 28k, but I still think if you pick him up under 30,000 coins, there is room to make profit just because how cheap how more expensive the other informs are going. Like 27,250, that is a decent one to pick up because he will rise up in price quite a bit. I don't recommend spending all your coins on this. I have a lot of coins on this account, and that is why I can kind of afford spending more. But basically what I would recommend doing, you can pick them up at 28k, but I was just searching like just under 28k and just like doing a bit of sniping really, picking them up for about like 27,250, 26,000 coins. But Defoe is probably the main player I would recommend investing in. So that's got the informed choice out of the way. And then the next investments are quite hard. So you could go with the clubs. However, last month we didn't actually see the clubs being used. So like for the Hazard one, you didn't require Chelsea players. But maybe they might change it up. And this month you might require players from the club. So for Ibra, you'd pick up United players, Aguero, City players. And I would say probably the safe option would be going around the Diego Costa Pedro route. Because whatever you buy for those players, it would actually work for both nominations. So if we look at Chelsea players, say if there's a Chelsea Squad Builder Challenge, it will happen if it's for Pedro, and it will happen if it's for Diego Costa. And that is exactly the same with Spanish players as well. If you go Spanish, it's going to require both of them. And that is why Spanish Chelsea players, again, is probably my next investment point. Because if it's Diego Costa or Pedro, I guarantee a Spanish Chelsea player would be used, either if it's just for Spanish, if it's just for Chelsea, the player would be used. Like this Alonso card, he's pretty cheap, and I don't really see that, because I'm not sure if his rating would be high enough to be used in the Squad Builder Challenge, so I may not invest in him. But the likes of Azpilicueta, he could be a good investment, and even just Pedro himself really. So Spanish Chelsea players could be a good investment. You could pick up the likes of Pedro, since he's like 83 rated player. First of all, he could be used in the Premier League one. He could be used for if it's Chelsea. He could be used if it's Spanish. But then there's the like if it's a different actual player for the Player of the Month. Because personally, I'm not too sure who it actually could be, to be honest. But the main investment I'm saying from this video is informed Defoe, because if it's Premier League and there is a Premier League challenge, an inform would be needed, and he is the cheapest inform. If we look, it was, well, no, this was going to come up with a load of random special cards, but 28,000 coins was the price of Defoe. You can see it's just like silver informs and the Movember cards, but those don't actually count. You actually need like a real, like an actual team of the week player, and Defoe is the cheapest one. If we finally get to the 59th minute, it might take us a while, but you'll see it will be Defoe just at the end. Here you can see the Defoe cards, like 28,000 coins. There he is, and that's basically the investment I'm going to be going with. The other ones I'm not too sure, just because it just kind of depends on who actually gets picked for this. But you can invest in like another inform card. Maybe if it requires 2 informs, you can look at another one. But Defoe, he's the cheapest inform in the Premier League, and I'm picking them up for like under 28,000 coins, because basically he will at least go up to 30k. And that was a centre mid card. I could probably sell that on for profit. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have any other investment suggestions, drop it in the comment section down below, and drop it in the comment section who you think will be the player of the month. I'm not too sure. That's why I'm just going for these neutral investments, which could be used for all of them. But thank you guys for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll try and have an episode of Trading to 1 Million out later today if possible. I'll see you on my next video.